Hello everyone, welcome back to the Lochknits knitting podcast. My name is Haley. I am a tattoo artist, crafter, knitter, spinner, sewist, quilter, crocheter coming to you from Northeast PA in the United States. I am more specifically coming to you from my brand new tattoo shop. Very excited about it. If you guys have watched the podcast before, you know that I have been all over the place just trying to get everything set up here, get the tattoo shop started. We opened officially on March 1st and been here ever since. You know that I love a good fluorescent lighting situation for clarity, and all of the lighting in my house is incredibly warm and there is nothing I can do about it. So I decided to film here to just do a trial run and see how it goes. I will say the ceilings in here are higher than I expected, in the sense that I feel they might be affecting the audio. If you have been watching for more than the past few episodes, you will know that I have recently demonetized my YouTube. So on one hand, I'm sorry about the audio. On the other hand, if you're the type of person that like homegrown audio bothers you, please leave. Since demonetizing my YouTube, I feel so much better. It was totally the right thing to do. I feel really liberated by it, which is kind of what I expected to feel, and that's good. Okay, sorry, the camera angle probably changed a little bit. I had to like fiddle with the settings on my camera. Hey everyone, it's Editing Haley at the front of the shop now. When I switched the settings on my camera, I turned what I believe is called the frame rate up. So I increased how many frames per second that part of the camera. Okay, can you tell I have no idea what I'm talking about? I thought that would be a good thing. I think it's a good thing, but like honestly, I don't know. So if you can tell a difference between the first minute of this video and the rest of it in a negative way, not a bitchy way, not like a weird I came to this YouTube channel to just whine and complain, but like a legitimately worse quality kind of way, please tell me in the comments. Don't act like a fucking psycho, but like just tell me politely in the comments. I can't see a difference in a negative way, but I just wanted to put it out there that I fiddled with a setting and I'm not sure. I want your input. Let me know. Okay, thanks. But as I was saying, the YouTube channel is demonetized. I am free. Here we are. I have a very regular standard podcast for you today. I have a couple finished objects that I'm excited about that are cute. I have a whip. I have two whips, one of which is in the front of the shop because it's become my desk project. Let's just get into it. Also, full disclosure, I realized in thinking about all of my finished objects and the things that I've been making, I have no idea what most of this yarn is. So I don't ever really think that people who watch podcasts go out and buy that exact yarn, in the sense that most of what I'm about to show you is indie dyed yarn. I'm just saying, just a disclaimer, I would tell you if I knew, but I don't. All right, so first finished object that I have in my possession, another 2x2 hat. I have made this before on the podcast. I have like a really highlighter yellow version that I kept for myself that I made last year sometime, maybe. I got the yarn from Rhinebeck maybe 2 years ago, and it was this like super like squishy yarn. I think it was like a worsted weight. I don't remember. If you guys watch the podcast, you know what I'm talking about. It's kind of like that color. This is the same pattern. This is the 2x2 hat. This is like, if you type in DK weight hat free on Ravelry, this is like one of the first search results that comes up. I'm not gonna put it on my head because I actually have a little crocheted bandana that my friend Sock made me. Other than that, I'm not wearing, oh, just kidding, I lied. I'm wearing my leg warmers. I knit these a while ago too. They're super cute. Anyway, but yeah, I'm not gonna put this on my head, also because it's not for me. So I am on this kick right now that I'm trying to lean into, where I really feel a lack of inspiration for handmade things for myself, because I just am very fortunate that I'm at a point in my like life and knitting journey that I just like simply don't need anything else, nor do I like want anything. Maybe that'll change as like the weather changes, but right now like I'm good. So I have all this beautiful yarn. I have nothing but like small projects as like the things that I desire, and I was like, why not just use this yarn, make the thing. I'm gonna throw it in a bin, and I have a few different ways that I'm going to like disperse things, but basically for the next couple of months until I feel like inspiration strikes, I'm going to just like make stuff and put it in this bin. I know there is an organization that I've donated to in the past called Knit the Rainbow that gives these handmade items, like unworn or like gently used handmade items to LGBTQIA+ youth, and I think that's really great. There's also my entire roller derby team that I'm on seems to be very responsive to the things that I make, which is really sweet. I recently gifted everybody in the league dishcloths, like little like just cotton peaches and cream dishcloths. You guys know what I'm talking about. Nothing crazy. You would have thought that I gave these people $1 million. They were so sweet and so funny, and they were so stoked on them. And I was like, guys, I just have a ton of like handmade stuff. You can just have it. It's just sitting in my house. So I have a few different like avenues to donate to human beings locally, and then also on like a broader scale. So anyway, that's the plan for now. So this was made for the bin. The bin, TM, will now be in reference to the bin of donated goods. This pattern is awesome. It's super easy. It's really perfect for like one skein. Look at that pooling. It's really perfect for like one skein of DK. Also, you could totally do this in a skein of worsted, just like watch your yardage. This one has the roll brim hat, or the roll brim hat. This one has the roll brim on this hat, but you certainly don't have to do that if you don't want to. This yarn, I have no idea what it is. My friend Megan gave it to me. It's definitely DK. It's definitely superwash. It's definitely squishy. This is going to the bin. So much fun. I think this is so interesting too, the way the color is pulling, like even when it's rolled up. Yeah, I just love it. I think I made this in like 5 days. And I had a few days where I was like incredibly busy with like derby stuff. So probably like 3 solid days of knitting on this. It's really fast. This is a good alternative if you like want to make someone a hat that is ribbed, so it's very accommodating and stretchy and like all of the fun things that we like about like gifting a hat to someone, but you don't want to make it out of fingering weight, which like every time I start a ribbed fingering weight hat, I'm like, why would I do this? Whose idea was this? My next finished object is also for the bin. By the way, as I'm speaking about all of these projects, it just reminded me, there will be relevant links to as much as I can link to below, like specific patterns and things like that. But if you are curious about anything I make or have ever made, specifically, you can go to my Ravelry page because I take like incredibly detailed notes about every single project. I usually will make something and then not immediately, but in a year or two, like I'll come back and knit that same pattern again, and I will make, you know, small notes for anything that's relevant that I might have done differently. You can find all of that on my Ravelry page, and you can find me everywhere on the internet as Lochknits. It's all just Lochknits. So this is my next FO. These are some self-drafted fingerless mittens. And I will say, if you guys have a lot of experience knitting, or you're just very brave, you can find the pattern for these mittens in the notes on the project pages. You will see that I've made like 6 or 7 pairs of fingerless mittens over the last few months. This is self-drafted, and I've written it down in the notes of the Ravelry project in the sense that they are as bare bones as like do 15 rounds of ribbing, 4 rounds even, 18 rounds increases. Like, you do have to have a little background about what I'm talking about, but if you're just looking for like a super easy, like kind of memorizable series of numbers for like a DK-ish pair of fingerless mittens, these can work. This yarn that I used is my Handspun yarn, and it's honestly like so beautiful. Like, not to toot my own horn, but I think this looks fantastic. This was from a super crazy braid And this probably won't mean anything to you if you don't spin yarn, but this yarn was spun from the fold and then chain plied. So it's technically a 3-ply, and then I held it with a strand of hot pink mohair. That was Barocco Ariel in like whatever their like super saturated like neon pink is. And it really, I don't know if it's the mohair, but like these stitches look super even to me. I feel very proud of this spin, like overall, just awesome. So if you are interested in knitting these, and I do want to write a pattern for these, like write it in a way that doesn't take like some sort of mystery language to like decipher what I mean. If you are looking at the notes and you're trying to like knit this pattern on your own, this like series of numbers that I've used for this pattern is probably like an adult medium. These perfectly fit on my boyfriend's hands, and my boyfriend is not like some giant handed man. He has like pretty average size hands. My hands tend to be on the smaller side in terms of like fit and stuff like that, and you can definitely see like definitely too big in like here. Like I could wear these, but they come off pretty easily. But honestly, like this pattern overall is like really accommodating, especially if you do, I've done like 1x1 rib on all of these. If you want to like finagle with the numbers, 2x2 is perfectly doable. Just like follow your heart, you know? But I would say these are like an adult medium. Could go up, could go down, but just the nature of like the knit is pretty flexible in that way. It's also worth mentioning that for these, I personally have been on a journey to find or create or put together a fingerless mitten pattern that only takes one size needle. This is something that I think is like often even more practical than a hat. And in thinking about like trying to like donate or pass along like my knitting projects to someone else, I just feel like having a fingerless mitten pattern with as few barriers as possible, something that I can turn into like an on-the-go sort of project, means that I can inherently make more of them. And I do feel that because there's not a smaller size needle on all the ribbed parts, overall these just tend to make like a larger mitten. But obviously like with any like knitting project, it would be like trial and error. But anyway, this is a lot about two little mittens. I love them. These will be definitely on the list for more donation type things because I just feel like they're really practical, you know? Those are my finished objects, and by those are my finished objects, I mean those are the finished objects that I have here with me today. I've obviously like made a lot more stuff in the last couple of months, but I've also been like MIA for the last couple of months. Most of what I've made, I've like gifted, I've given away. We'll just put a little thing here of like some pictures of stuff I've made. We had Secret Santa in like my knitting yarn group, and I made this like crazy doily hair beret thing for Gail. I made Sock this huge like napping blanket out of like acrylic yarn, you know what I mean, for her birthday. I just finished that recently. Like there's been stuff. I haven't been slacking. I actually made, I'm not even gonna talk about it because it's not worth talking about. It was a huge failure, but I made like 75% of a steeked colorwork shawl and then realized I didn't want it and I just like frogged the whole thing. Those are my finished objects for right now. My next whip, I don't know, I'm sure I've shown this on the podcast at some point, but like it just bears repeating. This is a little project bag that Sock made me out of a quilt square she didn't use. Look how cute, isn't she fun? And then also in here, this is my like de facto sock knitting bag. And this is a little notions pouch that I just got from Gail, also my best friend. And I've just set aside some like, look at the inside, it's got little checkers on it. I've just set aside some like notions that I need for like sock knitting, tape measure, tiny snips. I need to get a second row counter. Keep forgetting to do that. But anyway, new to me bag. Also the tag is like pleather. Love it. So this is my sock bag. This is my sock. I also don't know what this yarn is. This is also scrap stash from my friend Megan, Rainbow Kit Kat. We have been really good about exchanging yarns that either have like a little bit left over because she knows that I love a good scrap project, or if it's just yarn you're not going to use or that you caked up and you're like, oh, this isn't what I wanted, whatever. So to me, this whole skein of yarn was giving like cherry cheesecake sort of vibes. Here is the sock. Isn't she cute? So I actually, couple different things. The first thing that's worth mentioning is that I have a few specific parts of knitting a sock for myself that I know and love. 60 stitches all day. That's cool. I've gone back and forth recently on magic loop versus 9-inch circulars. I have another whip that it's my front desk whip that I'm gonna go and I will bring back for you. And that one is on a 9-inch circular, but it's over 72 stitches because the socks are not for me. But anyway, for my personal socks, just lately in the last couple of weeks, I've been wanting the magic loop experience. I have somehow misplaced my Hiya Sharps magic loop. So I'm using Chalgo's and they're cool. They're not as cool as my Hiya Sharps, but that's fine. So US 1 Chalgo's 60 stitches. I started cuff down on this pair and like honestly I don't know why. I think I just wanted to like try something new. It's not new, but I prefer a toe-up sock just because like it's the most practical way to like use the yarn in my humble opinion. So I pretty much do everything toe up, and then because I do everything toe up, I haven't done cuff down in like many years. So I figured because it was an ankle sock and it didn't have to be incredibly stretchy, obviously it has to get over my foot, but it's not gonna like sit in the middle of my calf or anything. I was like, I'll bite and we'll do like the cuff down, especially because I have like an enormous amount of yarn. I just realized I should probably ask Megan if there's nylon in this. Because if there's not nylon in this, I will rock it. That's the like stats of the sock so far. So I started cuff down. I knew I wanted them to be ankle socks for no other reason than I just have a gap in my wardrobe of ankle socks. Like I am in need of some. So I did cuff down. I put it over my foot and this seemed like an appropriate place to start the heel. So here is where the ankle is going to be, or the ankle, oh my God, here's where the heel is gonna be on them. They're just gonna be like short little ankle socks. I only have to knit from the stitch marker to the point where I start the toe. I think like 5.75 inches, like according to my calculations. So honestly, I should be able to finish these pretty quickly. I have been knitting on these while like watching TV and playing RuneScape. I've been on like such a RuneScape rabbit hole, which is exactly why I haven't started playing RuneScape. But long story short, I've had the same RuneScape account since 2005 and I'm not very good at it, but it is incredibly soothing to like take a break from doing chores to do more chores. And a lot of the like RuneScape gameplay is like AFK skilling. So basically working on this sock while I'm fishing and cutting wood. We love chores. Just have one of these right now. I never really get like second sock syndrome that much, but ankle socks just go so quickly. I think I've been working on those for like 3 days or something. And I've been doing other stuff too. So I actually have to go to the front, get my other whip, which is also socks, and I will come right back and show you about that. All right, okay, I'm back. So we have a front area, like reception desk in the new shop. If you guys have gotten tattooed by me before, you know that I've worked in like absolute hobbit holes, or like one giant long rectangular room for a long time. And by a long time, I mean my entire tattoo career. And we now like have designated rooms and spaces for like ourselves, and like a decent reception area with like seating. Exciting stuff. So anyway, there is a computer that Nate built for us at the front. And then, oh my God, here are my high sharps. Why are they in here? Why are they in here? Okay, well, mystery solved. I found these. What's in here? Okay. I have a sock whip. Clearly this is, I'm sure you guys have this too. A bag that at some point you threw a lot of stuff in, and then it's just like a perpetual, ongoing, like forever whip. So you're not gonna like go through what's in the bag, because it doesn't matter what's in the bag, because it's like a project you're never gonna finish. Okay, so let me show you the whip, and then I guess I'll go through there and see whatever's in there. So these are socks that I am knitting for my boyfriend Nate. I chose to not have needle stoppers on here. Okay, so I'm gonna handle this very carefully. So this is a giant sock tube. These colors look much more intense in this camera viewfinder than they do in real life. This yarn is some sock yarn that my friend Sock gave me, and I'm pretty sure, unless I made this up, this was some sort of like Master of Puppets themed colorway. I'm pretty sure that's Metallica, and I know for a fact that I hate Metallica, so maybe that's why I'm not 100% on what these are inspired by. But this is a 72 stitch sock for my boyfriend Nate. I don't know if this is too wide. I've never knit him socks before. We're just gonna give it a try. But I had this colorway like in my stash from things that she gave me, and I know him as a person, and I know that he's going to machine wash and dry socks, which is fine, like no judgment there. I also machine wash and dry my socks. I've been hanging them up lately, but for the most part, just machine wash and dry. But yeah, they're just some goofy little socks. 72 stitches. This is the first time, maybe ever, I've made a 72 stitch sock. I don't make like men's socks for any reason. They just like take so long, understandably. Huge foot, you know, and I always do like afterthought heels and sometimes afterthought ribbing too. So I think my plan was to knit until I run out of yarn on this tube, and then cut the tube in half, and with a toe on the other end also. So it'd be toe, tube, toe, cut it in half, and then add like ribbing and heels. I think I'll do that. It seems like the most effective use of this yarn, and like this is not ugly, but it's like not my colors. It matches my hair, but I'm not gonna like wear these, you know? So I think I'm just gonna keep knitting till I run out of yarn, and then see. I mean, he's like a guy who wears like really high like crew cut socks, so should be fine. Should be fine. But yeah, this is my other whip. It just lives in the front of the shop if I'm like watching YouTube or something on the computer. Oh, also worth mentioning, these are on a US 2. I love my US 1 socks for myself, but I also like a sock that is like as close to a store-bought sock as humanly possible. And I understand that a lot of people do not like that sensation of like a really tight, like insanely tight gauge sock on their foot. Let me see if I can hold up both of these to show you the difference. So I started experimenting with the US 2, which overall seems like easier on my hands, better overall. So keep in mind there's an enormous stitch count difference. But like, this is a sock for me. This is a sock for Nate. They're just, this is looser overall. This is very tight. I don't know. I don't have like a particularly like small or like narrow foot. I just really like when like my socks hug my foot, and like at the end of the day, I don't want them to be falling down like into my shoes, you know what I mean? So like I said, I acknowledge that most people do not enjoy that sensation. So anyway, we'll see how these go. He's a good sport. Even if he just wears them around the house, like, I don't care. I just had the yarn, you know. This is probably like the most masculine looking yarn, sort of like all black, that I have in my stash, because everything else is like pink sparkle poo-poo heart baby yarn. Why my US 1 Hiya Sharps went here, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. These are another set of 2s. Why is any of this in here? This feels like a knitting needle also. This is, oh, this is my Magic Loop US 2. I have to see if, I don't know if this was like, I mean, clearly there's some sort of like purpose for this, but this is the only like US 2 Magic Loop situation I have, and this has like a giant bend in it. I mean, it's like that on both. It's on purpose, but I don't like that. I don't want that. I just want like straight needles. So I don't know, guys. That's the whips. That's what I'm doing. Every spring I have an enormous like craving for sock knitting. I don't understand or like know what that's about, but it just is what it is. So that's what we're working with. That's what I got. I have been trying to be so conscientious about the yarn that I bring into my life, and I am very lucky to be surrounded with a lot of generous women who go yarn shopping many times a year. So I've already gotten yarn this year and I didn't buy any of it. I have more yarn than I know what to do with, which is something that I think is a very common sentiment among many of us. And I'm just, like I said, trying to like work through it. I don't need anything. Other people need stuff. Other people like knitted things. So I've been like trying to use my powers for good, basically, is what I'm saying. That's it for now. The only like big life thing that we have happening is April 5th, Saturday, April 5th from 2 to like question mark. We are having a grand opening. My tattoo shop's name is Honey Tattoo, located in Wyoming, Pennsylvania. It's in the middle of the Wyoming Valley. If you have nothing better to do, or if you want to have some homemade cookies and foodstuffs, come on down. We're gonna be hanging out. The shop will be open. If you wanna like take a little peruse, we're getting new merch, new t-shirts, we're getting new stickers, lots of fun stuff to be had. So thank you for watching. I will catch you on the next one. Bye.